Good afternoon, and welcome to Win with Tess, where you can be the master of your own financial destiny. My name is Tess Abellanosa, and I am a mother of 3 adult children. And most importantly, I am a grandmother. My husband, Sammy Sims, is always supporting me with my passion of giving back to the community. My focus is to help others understand and know their options so they can make the right decision and put themselves on a better financial position now or in the future. So today we are here with one of the successful mortgage broker in the city of Covina. This gentleman has been in the mortgage industry for 40 years now. He is one of those visionary men that believe in financial freedom. So in 2003, he added another business and opened his real estate brokerage, the Colonial Properties. Before 2008, he was operating 3 Century 21 offices in different cities of Los Angeles County. He has been married to his beautiful wife, Shelley, for 40 years, and they have 2 wonderful children. It is my pleasure to present our guest today, Scott Wilson. Hello, Scott. How are you doing today?
I'm good, Maria. How are you?
I'm good. I hope everyone in the family is staying safe and healthy.
Now we're sheltering at home. That's all we can do right now.
Very true. So Scott, before we start, I would like for our viewers to get to know you a little bit more. What made you start your journey on the mortgage industry?
So I had a brother-in-law that was in the title insurance business, and he kind of introduced me into the real estate side. And about 6 months later, I was out there doing loans for a mortgage company at that point. I've been doing it ever since. You know, I can do this or I can flip hamburgers. But
You're too good looking to be flipping hamburgers.
oh yeah, right. Thanks.
Were you born and raised here in California?
Yeah, I was born in Burbank, California.
Wait, I understand both of your children are now adults, right? Are they in the
Yeah,
business with you?
my daughter is yeah, she's 34 now, so she's works in the cosmetology area, and then my son's works in telecommunications.
Hmm.
So and he's 30, or actually 31. So they're both getting big.
And they go so fast, huh? And you cannot
Crazy.
make a mistake on that 31. 1 year matters a lot.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yes. So with your 40 years career in the industry, I am sure you have seen and lived through a few of the market correction. So as a businessman, how did you prepare yourself with all the roller coasters of the market?
You have to put away for a bad time. You know, you during the good times, you can do pretty well in this industry, as you probably know too, Maria.
Mhm.
But you know, there are times where the bell shape goes down and you just have to use your reserves. And that's I've been fortunate enough to do that.
Yes, and unfortunately, not too many people really believe in reserve. And I know statistics says that each household should have at least 6 to 8 months of their monthly income as their
Yeah.
reserve. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been working for that most of my life, so at least 8 months, and sometimes, especially in 2008, it was a little bit longer than a little bit more than 8 months, but you know, we
Yeah.
were surviving. We consolidated. You know, you get small. You know, that's what you have to do. You know,
Ex-
and our Century 21s, we had 3 at the time, like you said, and we consolidated down into 1. So you know, you just have to do business smart decisions.
with the new normal and with families being back at home, how would you diversify your services to adapt to what they have been accustomed to?
You know, we're shelter in place, and then my business is considered an essential business, so I am able to operate, but I don't take any meetings. So I'm in my office. I have my processor in her office, and we're staying separate, but we don't see any people, and to me that bothers me because I've been grown up to always do a face to face. I think you're the same way, right? Especially even on the Zoom, right? So we're doing a lot now, more of a computerized based, website based, Zoom based meetings, and it's not quite the same, but it is a pretty good second.
Well, thank you, Scott. Well, I guess that is a good assurance for our consumers right now that business still go on in real estate and mortgage industry.
For sure.
So, well, today we would like to focus on one type of loan that can really help our baby boomers and elderly consumers, which
Yeah.
is the reverse mortgage. So,
Right.
Scott, can you tell our viewers what is the difference between a reverse mortgage and a regular home loan?
Certainly. A reverse mortgage is a loan that's was developed back in the Reagan era. So Ronald Reagan was president and it became law to whereas what it does is assist seniors. You have to be 62 years or older and it assists only seniors. So if you're younger than 62, it's not available for you. And what it does is it allows the seniors to, I don't know, use more of the equity in their house in order to help them with their retirement age. Um, I've been doing it for the last 15 years, but I really concentrated after the 2008 crash because a lot of the seniors that I know, especially the baby boomers, lost a lot of money. 401ks were gone. They couldn't retire, but they still sat on a lot of equity in their properties. So what I did is we discussed having a reverse, pulling that equity out and using it to help subsidize their income. And the best thing about it is that they don't have to make a payment on it. So that's the main difference between a conventional loan and a reverse loan is that you don't have to make a payment on the reverse. You can make any payment you choose to, but you're not required to.
If
And
I'm 50, well, I'm 50, and my husband, let's say, for example, but he's not, he'll kill me. Let's say I say he's 68 and I'm 50.
right,
Can we still get a reverse mortgage?
one person has to be at least 62 or older. Now, if you have a spouse that's younger than that, then you can still get a reverse loan, but she would be a non-qualifying spouse. When the primary borrower passes, then at that point she can still stay in the property, but your loan to value and the amount of equity you can get out would be based upon her age and not the primary borrower's age.
Oh, oh, that's an important factor
No
on this
doubt.
type of loan.
As a
Mhm.
rule of thumb, and this is not set in stone, but as a rule of thumb, you take the borrower's age minus 20, and that's the approximate loan to value that you can get. So in your husband's, if he's 68, you said, you subtract 20, that's 48. So it's less than a 50% loan to value. So you really have to be in a good position and have lots of equity, especially if you're 50, then it goes down to 30% loan to
Now, how does a reverse mortgage get paid back?
You can pay back any amount that you want to, if whatever's comfortable. You can make fully amortized payments if you choose to do that, or you don't have to make a payment at all, and you pay them back once you sell the property. That's of course typically when the borrower leaves the property for more than 12 months, like moves into an assisted living and won't come back, or of course if they pass away, the same thing.
Could the homeowner lose their property with a reverse mortgage, such as in foreclosure?
Very little chance of losing a property to foreclosure on a reverse mortgage. That's a bad misconception that we've had in the past. Since there's no payment required on a reverse mortgage, you can't lose it to a non-payment. There are ways that you can, and that's if you don't make your tax payments, because a reverse mortgage is not impounded for taxes and insurance. So the borrower is responsible for making his tax payments. If he doesn't make his tax payments, then the lender will foreclose. Tax liability or tax lien takes priority over a first trustee. So they just won't let that happen. So the borrower has to pay their taxes. Secondly, another way is if they just don't keep, good care of their property. If it goes into deferred maintenance and they get an inspection by HUD, then there's another reason why they can say either you repair it or we'll take it back. But that's it.
So when is it a good idea to get a reverse mortgage?
65 to 70 and wants to retire. Looks at his portfolio, he's been putting away, but because of what happened back in 2008, 2009, lost about 50% of his retirement income. So now all of a sudden he says, well, you know what? I don't have enough to live on, but I'm sitting on a boatload of equity. So while instead of pulling out like a home equity line of credit where you have to make payments on it, you just, go ahead and use a reverse and use the money on either a monthly basis, lump sum, or as a line of credit, and never have to worry about paying it back unless you choose to do so.
Oh.
So that's the advantages of it.
You basically get approved almost like HELOC, home equity line of credit. So it sits in the bank's account, and then I just kind of draw it as I need the funds.
That's one way, right? There's three ways of obtaining equity from your property using a reverse mortgage. And probably 90% of the time, it's a lump sum. They just get a big check and they put it in their savings account and then just, use it from there, assuming that they have, the equity. But a reverse mortgage is only a first trustee. So if the person has a small first on their loan right now, on their property right now, we would have to extinguish that, pay it off, and then get the balance, whatever is left over, and they can use. A home equity line of credit is typically a second and sometimes even a third trustee. So there's a difference there.
I see.
So anyway, lump sum is one way of obtaining of equity. The other one is a line of credit, which means they just get like a checking account. And the money goes into the checking account, and when they need it, they just write a check. And the last one is a monthly stipend. Based upon how much money they can obtain with the reverse, they get a certain amount that's given to them on a monthly basis. Oh. So, and that's until they pass.
So now this next question is a little bit sensitive.
Yes.
For example, I am a qualified consumer and took a reverse mortgage on my home. My husband lives with me, like what you explained earlier. But what happens to my home?
If one spouse passes, the other spouse is allowed to live in the property until they pass or vacate the property. So, let's say Sammy passes, again, this is hypothetical, okay? But let's say Sammy passes, you're allowed to live there. And if you live there for another 20 years, you don't have to make a payments on it. It's when the last surviving spouse either passes or moves out of the property for 12 months, then at that point, the loan will become due.
Who is responsible for the mortgage if I die before I pay it off? And also, I guess for this scenario, if we both die, husband and wife.
I have not seen one property over encumbered. You would think that if you don't make any payments, that your loan balance is going to be more than the value of your property. Well, that's not quite the case. And like I said, I've never experienced it. The HUD, it's backed by the Housing and Urban Development HUD. It's an FHA loan, and they're very conservative on their loan to values. So that's number one. So there's plenty of equity to start off on. And they also factor a 4% appreciation in their numbers. So when the property appreciates 4%, your loan's going to also increase. I've never seen it being underwater. There is no judicial foreclosure. They can't come after the estate. It's just they just deed the property back to HUD. Now, if there is equity still, then the estate can, like I said, either refinance it and keep the property, or sell the property and then keep the proceeds on the sale. Here's the drawbacks of a reverse mortgage, because you need to know those too. Number one, it's a little pricey, okay, in order to obtain. Now, it doesn't come out of the borrower's pocket. It's financed in a loan, but there's mortgage insurance that's required on a reverse mortgage. Again, like I said, this is an FHA loan. So FHA loans have mortgage insurance. So this also has mortgage insurance. So other than that, the normal closing costs are about the same.
And you kind of touched base earlier. You said there's three. Can you repeat
Elaborate
that?
one more time? Sure. Let's say we have a client that's the property's free and clear, but they need money for retirement. So they apply with a reverse mortgage, and about 35 days later, they can obtain their money three different ways. And the most common one is just a lump sum. They get us to a grand check, whatever they can get out, 200, 300. I mean, we went up to 450,000 cash, and it's just a check that they get. They can do whatever they want with it. There's no, if, ands, or buts. There's no requirement that they have to buy a mutual fund or something like that. They can do it. It's their money, and it's tax free.
Mhm.
Okay, it's their property. It's a tax fee, cash out. So get a lump sum, put in the bank, or they can get a line of credit. That same amount of money that they get lump sum, they can put it into a line of credit, and they can just write a check on that. Or the last one is just a monthly stipend. What they do is they figure their expected age and how much money they feel they'll give out during that expected age, and that'll match the amount of a lump sum, and it is divided by the number of months, and that's how much they get on a monthly basis. I don't really recommend that because I think it's best to get the lump sum out, because you can do it what you want with the money. If you take the stipend and God forbid you pass in 6 months, you really haven't used the money.
Los Angeles County is considering to extend the stay-home order, also referred to as social distancing, for another 3 months, I believe.
We'll still be doing business as usual. I think if anything, it would be better for us, because at that point I can go back to face. I'm a people person. I use computers because I have to. I use my website, for my application process because I have to. But I'd much rather, instead of DocuSign a document, I'd much rather go face to face. And, especially when it comes to seniors. The seniors really need to hold their hand. I mean, they're very, suspicious. They're very cautious.
Yes.
So it's best to talk to them on a face-to-face and explain everything in detail, because sometimes it can take hours to explain this.
If I am actually applying for this type of loan or any type of loan, I'll be asking a lot of questions, just like a lot of those elderlies. So, so lastly, Scott,
Yes.
do you have any special message that you would like to share with our viewers, our consumers?
The mortgage industry is strong. The banks are strong. And if you have to do something, don't hesitate, knowing that, we are still around and able to work with you and take care of you like we should.
Well, guys, you heard it right. A reverse mortgage is a loan secured by your home. It must be your primary residence.
Yep.
This type of loan allows you to access portion of your equity tax-free. So, can reverse mortgage help you during this pandemic? Would you like to get more information? Well, please feel free to reach out to me at 626-825-0686, or you can contact Scott Wilson directly at 626-442-1888. Thank you, Scott. And to our viewers, thank you for joining us this afternoon. I would like to invite you on our next event, where our guests will discuss the difference between brokers and retail banks and where the market is heading into. Again, my name is Tess Abellanosa. Please follow me on Instagram and my Facebook page at WinWithTess. Scott, thank you.
My pleasure. We'll see you later.